Hello, I am your Irish guy and Happy New Year! And yes, it is that time of year again where I give one bold prediction for every Premier League club in 2025. And lads, I got 2 right in the 2024 edition. I was right about Crystal Palace and Wolves, so lads, some of these are so out there that if I manage to beat that score and get 3 right for 2025, then I will have a week-long party on this channel and you're all invited. Right, let's go. Arsenal will hire a weird sporting director. Look, Arsenal need a sporting director right now, and there's obvious names floating about, like PSG's Luis Campos, and Manchester United has recently sacked Dan Ashworth, but I actually don't think it's going to be a sensible man in a suit. I think the Gunners are going to surprise us all by choosing a prominent former footballer. I mean, that sporting director seems to be the new glamorous job that is opening up to players when they retire. This seems to be the attractive, swanky, well-paid job these days. I mean, it's why Deco is putting the strings behind the scenes at Barcelona, where he gets to safely munch scones behind a desk in peace, instead of, standing on the sidelines in a duffel coat, being called a cowpat by angry fans in Brazil. Ex-pros are secretly popping up in these jobs behind the scenes all the time, like John Walters at Stoke, or Hugo Viana at Man City, or Richard Hughes at Liverpool. It is mad. So yes, Arsenal already had a surprise footballer behind the desk in Adu. So yeah, I think it'll be a former player. Someone that nobody will see coming, like a Gilberto Silva or a Per Mertesacker. Just you watch. It's gonna be a familiar face and a shock. Aston Villa will not win 4 games in a row. Is this that crazy a suggestion? Probably yes, because I think everyone would automatically assume that any team coached by a Rolls-Royce European super genius like Unai Emery is obviously going to win 4 matches in a row at some stage in a calendar year. But no, I think Villa's sluggish league form will roll on all year long, and especially so when PSR forces them to sell a star player in the summer. Honestly, come back to this video in a year and I promise you, Villa will not be able to put 4 wins together in a row in all of 2025. Bournemouth will beat a former European champion in Europe. Yeah. Call me crazy. Say I've got the brains of chewing gum all you want, but I'm telling you now, on the 1st of January 2025, this will be the year Bournemouth will beat a non-English former European champion in a European competition. And when I say a European champion, I mean a club who's won either the Champions League or the Europa League. So yeah, that's a lot of teams to choose from, but why not? What Bournemouth fans are yet to experience is European nights. So not only will the Cherries squeak their way into Europe, but yeah, they are going to be the club who's won a European trophy before. And yes, I have to stress that this is a non-English team, because otherwise, I mean, beating Ipswich Town or West Ham would count. No, I'm telling you, in a calendar year, the Cherries are getting a mammoth European night. I mean, why not? In 2023, Brighton and Hove Albion beat 2 former European champions. So this one, I don't think it's that crazy. Brentford will have a player who finishes 2nd in the Golden Boot race. How incredible would it be for Brentford, after having sold Ivan Toney, their big goal-scoring talisman in the summer, and yet still will be able to produce a player who finishes 2nd in the race for the Golden Boot? Yeah, either Brian Mbemo or Yohan Wissa, take your pick, but one of them will have a monster second half of the season and will actually overtake a struggling Erling Haaland in the goal-scoring charts. And yeah, one of these guys will finish behind Mo Salah in 2nd. Just you watch. Brighton will sack Fabian Hürzeler. Yeah, this one might sound rather silly to say, that Brighton's new wonderkid coach Fabian Hürzeler is going to be given his marching orders this year, but why not? Doesn't it only feel like 5 minutes ago that Roberto De Zerbi was being talked about as if he had the brains of a wizard? Yeah, the Seagulls weren't exactly begging this wacky little hobbit to stay. No, they were quite happy to let him walk out the door. And similarly, a year is a long time in football. And I can see that Hürzeler's inexperience is eventually going to be found out in the Prem. I mean, lads, his birthday was yesterday, right? He turned 32! 32! And he is a Premier League boss? Most 32-year-olds are selling cookies, collecting Warhammer, and still share a bed with their mum. Yes, I'm looking at you. I'm guessing by November-ish, the Seagulls would have started the season poorly, and yeah, the board are going to realize this is what happens when you're trying to survive in the biggest, baddest league in the world, with someone in charge who is too young to remember Courage the Cowardly Dog. He'll be dumped for someone even more hipster, some pot-bellied coach from the Hungarian mountains who will spend his first press conference twirling his mustache and chewing on vegan butternut squash. Chelsea, biggest margin of victory in a European final. What do you think is the biggest margin of victory in a European final? I mean, you probably thought that the Real Madrid team of the 50s would have absolutely crushed their opposition in Champions League finals every single year. Nah, weirdly, the biggest margin of victory in either a Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League final is still only 4 goals. So lads, I'm going to say this. I think that Chelsea will not only break the record for most goals scored in a European campaign, but once they get to the Conference League final in Poland, they are going to make another mockery of their participation in this incredibly mediocre thing by winning that match by by at least 5 goals. I'll tell you that this isn't if Chelsea win the Conference League, it is when, because never in the history of sport has there ever been a team so far above the level of every other side in that European competition, which is kind of nuts to say when an all-star Barcelona were in the lowly Europa League in 2003, surrounded by teams full of goalkeepers who probably had to book time off work from their job sweeping toilets at the airport. Chelsea's billion-pound squad existing in this competition, something created just to give part-time postmen from Eastern Europe something to do on Thursday nights. Honestly, the Conference League is like the children's table at the wedding, and Chelsea are basically that smug, middle-aged billionaire being forced to pull up a seat, tucking into a plate of turkey dinosaurs and chips, slurping on a prime and chatting to his peers about the Peppa Pig finale. Sorry lads, but I'm going to call it 6-0 in May. And they don't even need Cole Palmer in the squad. Crystal Palace will set record for worst top-flight start. This sounds crazy because Crystal Palace are a pretty stable mid-table club, right? I mean, let's be real. They have not been relegated from the Premier League since 2005. That is a cold, harsh fact. The last time they experienced a Premier League relegation, Brad Pitt was still married to Rachel of Friends, and yet here's me proudly stating that they will set a record for the worst ever start to our Premier League campaign. Well, yes, because football heritage. I mean, the current worst start in Premier League history is 7 defeats in a row set by Crystal Palace back in 2017. That was pretty bad, as was Palace's start to the 2013 season when they lost 9 after opening 10 matches. And after promotion in 2004, they begun that Premier League season with 6 defeats in their first 7 games. If you just combine the 2004, 2013 and 2017 starts, then that is 21 defeats in 23 matches. Palace have formed for starting a Premier League season absolutely horribly. Even this season, 0 wins in the first 8 matches. That was not a good look, and yeah, Oliver Glasner was made to look like a dull Austrian toad. So go on then, I'm going to say this purely due to football heritage. 8 defeats in a row at the start of the 25-26 season. Everton will appoint Graham Potter. Doesn't this just have the whiff of a 2025 appointment? This is the most blatant managerial appointment in the whole wide world. Graham Potter is someone who's been out of work for yonks, but not because this boring vanilla-faced Chelsea weasel has been constantly ignored. Nah, he's been flooded with job offers every 2 or 3 months, and he's turned down some massive clubs like Lyon and Ajax purely to hold out for the England job. Yeah, turns out the FA must not have been impressed with this Ned Schneebly, nervously sniffling his way through his job interview, clumsily knocking over his coffee whilst clutching to a swear jar that he brought from home. Potter's a nerd, okay? Christ, now it's not like Draco Malfoy. But look, the new Everton hierarchy must clearly want to move in a new direction, introducing a swaggy type of football to go with our brand spanking new stadium. Because I'm sorry, but continuing to play dinosaur dice ball in an £800 million ground, it would like acquiring a £1 billion mansion overseeing the Hollywood Hills and then letting your bulldog poo in every room. Look, the Freakins were interested in bringing Potter to Roma, and the Toffees were interested in this man whilst he was at Brighton. He was the guy headhunted to replace Carlo Ancelotti, but no, they got Rafa Benitez instead, which instantly caused most season ticket holders to barf into their wife's hand bag. Well, just you watch. Potter is getting the Everton job in the summer. Fulham will not have a player who scores 10 goals all year. Yeah, it seems pretty simple. Fulham are massively lacking a goal scorer, and I don't really see them getting a high-profile one in the summer. So yeah, I don't think anyone in their squad will score more than 10 goals all year. Ipswich Town will have a player replaced for England. It is very rare for a relegated team to boast a current England international. I mean, come on. England managers don't usually sniff around clubs in the bottom 3. I mean, it's a bit like some rich, wealthy businessman hurriedly searching for a present for his mum on Christmas Eve and so asks if he can buy a homeless man's hat. You really think your old dear is going to be happy to unwrap something that has a mouse vomit stain on the front? Well, look, this prediction will probably make Calvin Phillips to squeal like an excited squirrel. If you told him last summer that an Ipswich Town player would soon play for England under the next manager, he would think,
oh, well that must be me. The loan from Man City must have worked.
No, unfortunately, he is a forgotten potato and Thomas Tuchel would probably sooner eat a rat burger than call him up. No, I'm saying it now. Liam Delap plays for England before the season is out, becoming the first Ipswich Town player to represent the Three Lions since goalkeeper Richard Wright in 2000, when on his debut, he conceded 2 penalties against Malta. I mean, sure, he saved the second one, but I should hope so, because if he hadn't, England would have drawn 2-2 with a student party island. And for those Maltesers out there who don't think I'm backing that up with anything, oh lads,
I've been to Patcherville.
Leicester City will sack Ruben Nistelrooy. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Ruben Nistelrooy is just the latest Manchester United coaching prodigy who will splutter and fail. I mean, I think Wayne Rooney's dismal failures are sort of proving that the Sir Alex Ferguson curse is real. Despite the hundreds of players he's managed, none of them have become elite managers. I mean, can I suppose, give me sport, rank them all. When Steve Bruce is 4th in the list, when Paul Ince somehow squeaks into the top 10, when Gary Neville himself is only 23rd on the list, that kind of shows you Fergie does not produce quality coaches. So yeah, Rude, I reckon he gets sacked before the season is done. Liverpool, fans will burn Trent's shirt on the news. Yeah, This is the year where Trent Alexander-Arnold turns into a Liverpool enemy. Just like how when Michael Owen walked out on them for Real Madrid in 2004, this is another Bernabeu move which will be the turning point of this man's legacy. I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold really knows what he's in for. But yeah, when he inevitably joins Real Madrid on a free transfer on July the 1st, I guarantee you, there's going to be some angry Scouts donuts who wind up burning Trent's shirt on the news. Just like how they burned Gerrard's shirt when he wanted the Chelsea move. Honestly, 20 years on from that horrible Gerrard summer, this will be the summer where Trent's mural is vandalized. He's going to receive horrible messages on Instagram. I'm telling you, 2025 is going to be the year where Trent Alexander-Arnold turns into a proper Liverpool villain. Man City will win the Club World Cup. Right now, Man City are absolutely not favourites to win anything, right? They are a flaky, burnt-out joke shop team on their last legs under Pep, right? So what chance do they have of winning the most competitive FIFA Club World Cup of all time? Because yeah, instead of this being a competition where the Champions League winner just bullies teams from Brazil, oh no, now they're in the same competition as other Euro powerhouses like Atletico Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Dortmund, Chelsea, Inter Milan, actual Real Madrid. This is like a mini Champions League in America. Surely this rubbish city can't win that, but I think they will. I can almost see it in my mind's eye. Phil Foden running around the pitch in New Jersey, holding the trophy above his head. Just you watch, okay? When I react to this video in a year, I am literally going to find you that exact photo that now sits in my mind's eye of Foden dancing with the FIFA Club World Cup trophy in his hand. Honestly, lads, okay? When I react to this video, I'm going to insert this photo in this video in 3, 2, 1. There it is. See? See? That's Foden with the trophy. Do you see? Do you see? That is him. See? Proof. That is what sat in my mind's eye in January. And now you can see it in December. Just you watch. I've extracted that Foden photo from my brain. That is what I saw in January. Man United will be relegated. Yeah, unfortunately, 2025 is the year where Manchester United finally slip out of the top. No. I'm sorry, no, that's a joke. Relax. Man United, Ruben Amorim will be sacked. Manchester United are a mess. And I don't think Ruben Amorim should be sacked. This is a man with fresh ideas. He's just completely unsuited to the squad he now has. So just let him buy more players. But no, because the club are in such ridiculous shape, Christ above Dan Ashworth was fired for trying to convince everyone to appoint someone who's since become a knight. So I think Amorim could be the next AVP. A young, twinkle-eyed coach in his 30s who gets swallowed by the Prem. I don't think he should go. I think he should let this man see out his project. I mean, come on, 4 years into his reign at Sporting Lisbon, and he was slapping up Man City with a bang average team. But no, I can sniff a panicky sacking in September. He won't be allowed to sign enough players that he wants. Things will get off to a garbage start, and I reckon he gets sacked. I don't think this should happen, but I think it might just. And he'll be replaced with someone really unglamorous, like an interim Paulo Fonseca. Newcastle will beat Barcelona at St. James's Park. This seems like such a nuts prediction to make because Newcastle's participation in the Champions League next season is far from guaranteed. So me not only suggesting that they'll bounce back into that competition, but that they'll also beat Barcelona months before the fixtures even come out. But lads, to quote the Black Eyed Peas, I got a feeling. The two greatest nights in Newcastle United history are beating PSG in 2023, but also a famous 3-2 win over Barcelona in September 1997. Maybe it's the Sir Bobby Robson connection, but there's always been a link between these clubs. I mean, come on, there's a statue of a former Barca manager outside St. James's Park. This just feels epic. These clubs need to meet at the Champions League again, and I think they will. And just like how Aston Villa recreated their famous historical win over Bayern Munich, then yeah, similarly, mark your calendars. Before Christmas this year, Barcelona are getting punked at St. James's Park, with Alexander Isak netting a special hat-trick. Just you watch. Nottingham Forest will lose 6 in a row. I know this seems crazy to say considering Nottingham Forest literally ended the year sitting second in the league, but just you watch. The wheels are going to come off at some point. And yeah, in 2025, Nottingham Forest lose 6 matches in a row. Southampton will lose a match 9-0. Is anyone really going to back against this? That's not only have Southampton lost 9-0 twice since 2019. Look, come on, they recently found themselves 5-0 down at half-time at home 2 weeks ago. And lads, Spurs aren't even that good. Christ, well, that was their only win in the last 7 games. I mean, after destroying the Saints that afternoon, they themselves went on to concede even more goals in their very next match. So yeah, honestly, lads, I think another 9-0 is on the cards, probably at Anfield in March, when they come up against a team who not too long ago won a Premier League match 9-0 themselves. Tottenham will sack Ange Postecoglou. Is this that shocking? Daniel Levy is one of the most ruthless chairmen in the league. Every time he sacks a manager, it's nearly always been pretty harsh. Martin Jol, Harry Redknapp, Mauricio Pochettino, Jose Mourinho. Even Wande Ramos had won the club a trophy, and yet he was gone before Christmas. So yeah, what I think that Postecoglou is a fun, fresh, exciting coach that is just quintessential Spurs. Yeah, once they finish mid-table in May, Nah, I don't think he survives the chop. West Ham will sign a superstar. Okay, this seems very vague, but come on. West Ham have always been one to pull a superstar out of the bag. Someone so far above the level of the club. Like a Carlos Tevez, a Dimitri Payet, a Lucas Paqueta. So yeah, I don't know who, but someone. They're going to sign an absolute superstar in the summer who, yeah, is clearly out of their league. Wolves will be bottom free at Christmas. Yeah, I don't rate Vitor Pereira either. Don't get me wrong, he's a far better manager than Gary O'Neill, but still, he's a journeyman coach, and yeah, he will be sacked later on this year. And yeah, Wolves will spend next Christmas in the relegation zone. Just you watch. I'll be proven right. Anyway, that's the video. What do you think? What is your bold prediction for your club this year, any year? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, get a bit of that. And don't forget to go as always. I'll talk to you in a while.